Today I'm making a terrarium out of a bottle of 1800 tequila. This is the first video in a series of liquor-themed terrarium bottles. Thank you. So subscribe if you want to see what's coming. Welcome back, or if you're new here, I'm Tanner. This is the Tanner Terrarium. Without further ado, let's get into it. First, let's take off this label. For that, I'm using a razor blade that is brand new and very sharp. Removing as much residue as possible. Now that that's done, let's look at the substrate. First, we have our drainage layer. Here we have a mixture of cocoa fiber, a little bit of perlite mixed in, damp sphagnum moss, charcoal to keep the terrarium clean, and here is something I like to do special. This is substratum in a blender. I'm going to blend that up and add it. It's a substitute for vermicast, which is worm castings. Now that that's ground up pretty nice and fine, we'll add a little bit into our substrate mix. About that much should be fine. I 3D printed this funnel to work in terrariums, but it's too small for the drainage layer, but it will be used for the substrate. However, we're just going to drop in this drainage layer. Now that we have the drainage layer in, we need to put in a substrate barrier. So this is just fiberglass window screen mesh. It will go in above the drainage layer here and separate the substrate from the drainage layer so that the drainage layer can, in fact, act like a drainage layer. I have discovered a new trick to cutting this. I cut a lot of this stuff, and you can just use scissors and cut pretty straight, but I made a small investment and got a paper cutter. So now I can put it in there and cut perfect lines. I just have to take some measurements, which I can do on here. 3.5 inches that way to 3 inches that way. Boom. And we take this, can measure it, line that up, and wow, easy as that. And then line this up. Go ahead and do 4.5. You can always take more. Can't take less. Boom. That freaking easy. And I'm just gonna put this edge up under here to get it nice and straight. Boom. And a perfect square. Look at that. And I do this just by folding it in half, clamping it, and then folding it again so it makes a little rose put in there. And then boom, should unfold. And of course, because I wasn't watching it, I placed it in slightly wrong, but it's okay. There we go. I know it might be a little hard to see, but it is in place now. And we can move on to the substrate using this little funnel here. Place it on top. And then putting the substrate in the funnel up top, and then using our skewer to push it down. Right, you can see how the substrate is sloped more towards the back to give depth to the terrarium. It'll become more apparent whenever the plants are in there. A quick spray before the plants go in to moisten the soil even more. Then we can take a paper towel and do what I like to call a sponge stick. You pinch the paper towel in there and then get to wiping. Here's our plant selection. Some clippings of red nerve plant, also known as Phytonia. A few clippings of spike moss, also known as Selaginella. A clipping of aquamarine baby tears, also known as Pilea glauca. And a few pieces of fern moss. First in is the fern moss. I had to cut them up into even smaller pieces to fit in the neck of the bottle. Thank you for watching. Remember, this is the first in a series, so subscribe to see the rest. Bye-bye.